We're going to be making the front of the chicken tractor here. So these 2x4s here are just an added brace up here to kind of finish the look. And they are half lapped here, and there's play here. It does come all the way down to the ground. It is half lapped here, the 3.5 inches. That also gives you room down here, a little bit of play to move that so that this is straight up and down, and you get a good door frame out of the deal. That's why that is cut out in half lap there, and you screw that into there. And so this is what that bottom frame looks like. I also want to point out that what I found when I did this first one is the directions I don't think call for this, but I went ahead and put in, this is a 1x6, and it's just some place for the door to rest on. It's in between these, it's not over top, and that is just an extra piece of reinforcement wood here between the frame. I've got the frame straight up and down and true all the way around just the way I want it. And so my door swings nice, and then it also sits nice on top of this 2x6, just added to sit on. And so that should hopefully help that door to stay square as well. One thing that I want you to note is all the half laps, we're going to put this inside vertical that will be on the inside of the chicken tractor to meet up all the different places. We're going to put those on first, and then we're going to put the door frame in. So at this point, we want all the half laps facing the floor, and this is going to match up on the outside. So we're going to kind of make up this frame. So there's a half lap right here as well, and it's facing the floor. That's really important. So that this is on the inside and the door frame is on the outside. Okay, so we're going to get these square as we can here. Glue down, don't forget your glue. We're gluing every joint we can with waterproof, weather resistant glue. And we're going to make sure that these corners meet up nice and are flush. That's really important here. And then we're just going to go ahead and screw that down. Okay, so we want to go ahead and do the same thing with the other side of this front part. So now that you have these corners in, these are the inside corners, like this. So now you're going to be able to, you're going to butt up the ends to this here, and then that gives you this 2x4 here to screw to, as well as these horizontal pieces here. So now we're going to flip it over and work on the door frame itself. Okay, so we've got the door frame all laid out on the floor here, and now we have the half lap cutout pieces facing up, and so we can put in our basically the door frame. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to bring it all the way, I'm going to just match up this on the bottom so that this is flush to the bottom. That 2x6 is going to go in here to hold up the actual door in here. So, which will end up basically filling this gap here and make this centerpiece really strong again so that we don't have any extras or whatever. So that's what we're going to do. And let's get to it. Glue it and get to it. I'm going to use my longer 2.5 inch screws on this again. So we've got our door frame here. We've got the side of the door frame. We've got the side of this door frame screwed and glued down at the bottom to those 2x4s. And now we're going to put the top rail on this. So we just want to make sure that this is flush. And then if you've got some plywood or whatever, it doesn't matter. Cut it into a triangle. So you've got a 90-degree right there, and then you just make it flush, and that's how that's a good way to fasten the top rail to the sides. One thing that you should try to do is have the triangle on the inside of the chicken tractor, so that when you put your door frame together, your actual door, your door together, you're gonna put the triangles on your door on what would be the outside of the chicken tractor. So these ones on the frame are on the inside, and the ones holding the actual door together are on the outside. So we'll glue them and put a few screws in there. Top rail is fastened, it's secure, it's glued, it's screwed, looks ready to go. So now we can actually build the door. We got our 4 pieces of wood here to frame in our door, and then of course we're going to put chicken wire in front of this and make it a proper door. I'm going to go ahead and glue on our triangle pieces here, and the glue just reinforces, gets it good and tight. So I'm gonna get that about right, and I go ahead. Not what I wanted to do. Get a screw in there, bring this flush. Bring it tight too. Great. And get it all fastened. So there we have it. We've made the frame of our door. And then I guess I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put these triangle pieces pointing to the outside of the chicken tractor. Okay, so we've made the front part of the chicken tractor. We've made the door frame. Now I've got the door frame sitting on the other door, or the frame of that door frame, I guess, or whatever. And what I have is this is going to be the top of the door, and I have this is as flush as I like it to be here. It could go up a hair. So that's flush all the way across. And what that tells me now is I've got to fill this bottom gap. And the way that I've decided to do that is to put in this 1x6 here. So I'm going to just measure up that 1x6 until it fits nice at the bottom of the door. That way the door has something to sit on too, and there won't be added stress on those hinges. Okay, so we've got this rail up against our front of our frame, and I actually already put the other side of the rail on. But all you want to do is, once again, make sure this is flush, and then you're going to screw it into the front frame. So there's nothing to it. And a good way to do it is just kind of get, a few screws started, and then you're gonna kind of make sure that you've got your flush in the front and in the back, and then however that kind of settles out there so that it's nice and flush when it's there. Then you can go ahead and get it tight. Do the same. Kind of push it back maybe. Great. And then what I do for this bottom rail, take my speed square here and just make sure I'm still square on the bottom when I bring it flush. Well, not flush, but when I bring them to meet up, and it looks really square. And so at that point I can just go ahead and screw that together. We're making sure we're flush on the top, and then on the bottom we stick out here, so we want to make sure that we are in fact reading square, just like that. So we're good. And these stick out a little bit because you're going to have a hole here for your rope to pull from the front, and then on the back, so you've got your side rail here, you've got it flush, and then on the back it sticks out further, and that's where you're going to have your axles to put your wheels onto. So there's going to be wheels back here, there's going to be a rope up front, and that's how this thing moves around. So that's essentially the frame of your chicken tractor and what mine looks like at this point. So all we need to do now to kind of finish this part off is we'll put the hinges on the door frame, and we'll also put the barrel bolt to secure the door on as well.